What's going on, guys? It's Aaron here with High Five Guys, and decided I'd make a quick video on installing the QA1 suspension into a Gen 2 Camaro. I'll show you this real quick. The way the QA1 suspension is designed, they really want you to buy their coilover system. I decided to reuse the factory springs because they're honestly in pretty good condition. I've already got the RideTech shocks, and that acts like the brains of the system, really. I've got RideTechs on my Corvette, and they are awesome. One of my favorite shocks. You got two options, I think: handling and ride quality. We want this thing to handle. It's an older car. We got geometry corrected control arms. We're going to do a 4-link in the back, get rid of the leaf springs. Really want this thing to handle like a much newer vehicle, and that's the goal. So went with RideTech handling quality. But anyway, back to what I was saying is normal factory suspension has a hole in the bottom, so you can insert the spring up into the recess first. And I'll show you so you can see that crown that it's got to fit over. If it's hitting on the side of it instead of actually seating around it, that's not good. And that's one of the problems that you'll run into if it's just a little bit too long. So if you don't have it compressed all the way, whenever you put it up in there, you're gonna run into some issues. It'll go into the recess, but it won't fit over the crown right. But normal factory suspension allows you to put the spring up first and then connect all your stuff and then pop the shocks in from underneath. But there's no holes in the bottom for this. There's a plate that it runs. So yeah, it was really set up for QA1's own coilover system. So if I could give any advice to someone who hasn't bought this system yet but is looking to improve the handling of their car, go ahead and get the full package with the coilovers. It'll save you some headaches. And getting the geometry corrected control arms in is pretty easy, but I've found that the hardest part is installing the springs, because even with spring compressors you could get it down to the size you need, but then you'll find that since they sit on the edge, they will hit either side of this recess that they go up into. So I'm going to go over to the other side and show you where I've already got the other spring. What we were able to do is put the compressors on either side and then tighten them down to the length that you need. Specifically for this car and this suspension setup, if you're reusing the old springs instead of getting the QA1 coilovers that are an option with this package, we had to compress the springs down to 12.5 inches. So get a tape measure out. That way you're not having to redo it over and over again. Once it was compressed, we got mule tape, which is rated at, was it 2,500 pounds? This specific mule tape is 2,500 pounds per strand. So we did about 3 wraps on this side, 2 wraps on the other side. It will stretch out a little bit, so you need to get it shorter than the actual length that you require, because it's going to stretch just a little bit. And you can take this off. But anyway, just throwing this out there for anyone else who's going through this. I couldn't find any YouTube videos that were helpful to me whenever I was doing this job, so I figured there's got to be somebody else who's struggled with this. And the spring compressors are too big. They hit on the sides whenever you try to put it up in there, so that didn't work. So what you want to do is get you some mule tape, and then once it's compressed, wrap it on there. It'll hold it. Make sure you tie your knots good, because a compressed spring is dangerous. But then, once that's the proper length, you can fit it up in there way easier, and that mule tape does not get in the way of anything. So, if you do want to save some money and reuse your springs, just do like I said. Get the, you can rent one of these coil compressors from any of the auto parts stores in your area. Get the mule tape. Pretty sure that's the technical name for it. That's what I've always heard it called. And then tighten it down with the compressors to where you need, a little bit more than where you need. Put that mule tape on there, make sure it's good and tight, and then slip it up into place, and you're good to go. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. Save somebody some trouble, because I know it's been giving me a bunch of headaches until I decided to use that mule tape. have a good one, everybody. As always, I'm Aaron with High Five Guys, and I'll see you in the next video. If you like these kind of videos, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, because it always helps us out. Thank you.